we have a new number one team in college football.
Oh no!
Whoa, what was that noise? What was that noise? I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on over there. But the Texas Longhorns are now the number one team in the country after a big win last week in a game where, they were supposed to win by a lot, but the intricacies of the game are what's important.
Yeah.
We still won by a lot.
Quinn going out in the first half after a pretty good start to the game. Arch coming in.
Did not go out. He was forced out by injury, but sure.
Yeah, he went out of the game. He got hurt. Yeah. He left the game. And Arch came in and just dominated, and that's what everyone talked about the rest of the week. So, Quinn's stats before he went out, 14 of 16, 185 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. So
he was cooking.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Arch.
The pick was pretty brutal.
Arch.
The pick was bad.
9 for 12, 233, 4 touchdowns, 0 picks, 3 carries, 53 yards, and a touchdown. The guy had 5 touchdowns and 3 incomplete passes. Yeah. And he played 2.5 quarters. I mean, so the natural next step in the conversation, of course, is who should be starting at quarterback for Texas, Arch or Quinn. We actually had this conversation last week where you said Quinn's going to be hurt.
I predicted this.
Arch is going to come in and never give up the starting spot. So
that was 2 weeks ago, to be fair.
Yeah.
You predicted it for the Michigan game.
Yeah.
You were a week early. You were a week early.
Yeah, which is
I didn't say it was going to happen next week.
You said it's going to happen this season.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we can pull up that clip, but
for some reason, I don't know why, I just feel like I have a weird feeling Quinn Ewers is going to get hurt.
I mean, Mike, I got to start with you here, and then Mario, I know you made the prediction. All of us have something to say about this. Yeah. But, Mike, you're the Texas Longhorns fan. First off, congratulations. It's a big deal to go to number 1 in the country.
Thank you.
How do you feel?
First time since 06.
I know. You guys haven't done anything for 20 years. It's crazy. But now you're there. And
18.
You have a chance to do something. You just got to pick the quarterback. So how do you feel about this team? And give me your thoughts on the quarterback situation as a diehard Longhorns fan.
Well, unbelievable. I am elated when I saw on Sunday morning that we were number 1. I literally screamed at my work. Probably not an appropriate saying to do that, but
More than appropriate.
It is what it is. And
you guys deserve number 1.
I appreciate that. I think we looked absolutely dominant. It was also, I was talking to Ryan, who missing obviously at the moment, but he was saying that it's very unlike the AP poll to kind of move down Georgia when they still won over an SEC team.
Georgia did win 13-12, though. You've covered every spread, which
that's what my argument was. Is we've looked dominant against teams even like Michigan.
Georgia wins by 14; they're still number 1.
Yes,
but they barely.
Yes, I completely agree with that.
Yeah.
As for the quarterback conversation, it's not even a question. It's still Quinn Ewers when he comes back. I mean, that's literally not even a question.
Why do you say that?
What do you think about Arch, though? I mean, did he not look better? Does the team not look faster when he's on field? The fans more
I think
energized?
he looks fantastic. And I think it's great to have somebody as, to have depth in that position to where if anything were to happen.
He's a good backup.
Quinn Ewers has a history of injury, right? And so to know we have somebody that can take over and kind of command the offense like Arch did is very reassuring.
Yeah.
Regardless,
and even
Quinn's
play
team.
better than Quinn, which is crazy,
It's still Quinn's team. Quinn did look really good. I mean, 14 for 16 is amazing for 185 and 2 touchdowns.
And a pick, yeah.
And a pick. The pick was, questionably Quintravion Wisner's fault because it was supposed to be a wheel route. He stopped short and he cut to a flat. So, he definitely did run the wrong route.
So they say.
I mean, you could look at the play, but
I've seen the play.
My biggest thing actually, and not my take. I read an article.
He loves his reading.
You're back to reading.
He's an avid reader. Mike's an avid reader.
When I prepare for these podcasts, I do a lot of reading.
Yeah. I don't know where he finds these articles, but
all over.
Okay, let's hear what it says.
Multiple sources.
What's his article?
So actually, my favorite take is that we can't bench Quinn because it looks really bad for recruitment. And the reason why is because Quinn's played perfectly. He's literally done everything he possibly can to lead us to wins while he's on the field.
I don't disagree with that.
He has become the number 1 Heisman favorite, or was before he was injured, of course. But
shout out preseason plus 200.
Great call.
So continue.
But still, it's like he's done everything right, and to bench him for somebody just because of the energy that the students get behind or whatever, it's like that's not going to look good for people who are going to go in because it just means that. You could play perfectly, but you still make, that just doesn't feel good. So, I love that take. I think that is, honestly, the number 1 reason why we should be playing Quinn, especially until,
Until proven otherwise.
Until proven otherwise.
Yeah,
exactly.
no, because you have looked dominant. Mario, what are your thoughts on this?
I mean,
You called the injury.
Okay, first off, I want to say I
that
called
was
the
insane.
injury.
That was worse than me and DeMar.
You wish DeMar Hamlin would die.
Yeah, and
That's, I mean,
he legally was like dead for
You
like
killed
a minute.
someone.
I didn't.
Mike, we don't have to get back to you being a terrorist. Mario.
Okay,
You can't say that.
well he did.
I'm not a terrorist. I'm not a terrorist.
Anyone who needs to say you're not a terrorist,
Dude.
you know,
now
Sorry.
you're planting seeds of doubt in
Yeah,
the
it's
audience.
like now,
No.
now all they're gonna hear from this is, what if?
No,
Well,
no.
Why do you have to
would
say
he
that?
need to say he's not a terrorist?
Dude.
What
That's
have you
fine.
done in your
Crazy.
past? Okay,
Yeah,
anyways.
no, Mario, injury.
Yeah, the injury. Honestly, the injury wasn't anything. I know Quinn has that history of injuries. It wasn't anything about that. Honestly, it was just from a dream. I had a dream that he got injured and Arch came in and saved the day.
Yeah.
Little different
More of a vision,
situation.
I guess.
Yeah, maybe you could call him vision.
A premonition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, some call me the prophet.
Yeah, I've heard people say that.
Yeah.
I've never heard that. once.
But as far as the quarterback thing goes, I mean, I get what you're saying as far as the whole recruitment thing. I think this is a slightly different situation. It's not like you're just benching Quinn. And granted, he has played well since he's been on the field, but it's
played
not
perfectly.
like. But he has 2 interceptions on the season.
Yeah, he does.
I wouldn't say
Archer's
perfect.
zero.
I wouldn't say perfect. It's not like you're just benching someone because of the energy someone else brings. It's the energy and also that they're just, you could say playing equal, if not slightly better.
Yeah.
I mean, Quinn, I'll give you this. Quinn has made some throws this season where I've said Arch can't do that yet. But, I mean, at the same time, if you give Arch an entire season to kind of like,
I think that's the real
Build up.
question. Yeah.
well,
and Arch is, I think, going to start this week, right?
He is.
he is starting
He
to
just closed
So-
out this week.
I think this will be a good test to kind of see like how he plays and like starting
full
a
game.
game. Because starting a game is a lot different than when you've come in, when you get to see like a first quarter go by and you gotta like get
everybody
to see the flow
else's
of it.
like jitters have calmed down, and
Yeah,
you're
and
kind
they
of
have
the only
and they
one
have
to
this
deal with
game
it.
and one more game, and then they have Georgia.
Yeah.
So, well, it's this game and then Oklahoma and then Georgia, which is a
Oh,
Oklahoma's
no, this
a big
game,
deal.
another game, then Oklahoma, Georgia.
What we were for? Yeah, no, sorry.
This game,
you're right.
another
You're
game,
right.
and then you have your hard back.
You're right.
Yeah,
Sorry,
that's what it was. Yeah,
but
yeah.
the thing is like, you know, Arch, exactly what you said. He does look really, really good, but we've also seen him play UTSA and Colorado State. That's not anything impressive. If he were to come in while we were beating Michigan, you know, maybe that says something
He would
else.
still
But
cook those
Quinn
Colorado.
has,
Yeah.
maybe he does. But Quinn has those experience reps against the really high pressure moments. And Arch, in my opinion, doesn't have that. And I think that's going to play a big
Right.
factor when we do go through those really, really big games.
Yeah, no, I have a couple thoughts on this. So first, I want to say Arch Manning is the better quarterback on the team. That's how I want to start this. He is, in my opinion, probably one of the best few quarterbacks in college football right now.
I mean, without a doubt, the better prospect.
oh, for
Yeah,
sure.
Better
No,
quarterback is
prospect.
I think
better
better
quarterback you can
prospect.
still debate.
I think
Yeah.
he's yeah, sure. It's open to debate. In my opinion, I think he's one of the best quarterbacks in college football. I think he's more talented than Quinn. I think he'll play better than Quinn. I think his stats, honestly, are better than Quinn's. When
But
Quinn,
again, look at the moments that he's
let
come
me-
in.
Let
Sorry.
me
sorry.
finish.
Sorry.
I don't think he should start over Quinn. I think if you're Texas, not only for the recruiting thing, I don't think it's a huge thing for the recruits because
Yeah.
Quinn was a transfer and Arch actually committed, so it's
Yeah.
more staying loyal to the ones who committed as freshmen. So I don't know if that's the take specifically, but Quinn hasn't given you a reason to go away from him because
Yeah.
you've won every game by so much and just pounced on people. So I think it's Quinn starting when healthy, and then Arch is right there.
Yeah.
And as soon as something starts to go wrong, they will
can
make the
switch
switch and
it.
they will not go back.
Yeah.
And so, I kind of compared it early in the season to the Trevor Lawrence and Kelly Bryant,
Yeah.
which I liked early in the season, but Quinn's played so well, it's not a Kelly Bryant situation. It's
Yeah.
literally two unbelievable quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Quinn will be a first-round draft pick at quarterback. But it's one of those things where it's like, as soon as they bench Quinn, it's really hard to put him back in as a starter. Arch already knows he's the backup.
Because you're confident.
Yeah, his Arch is coming into the season being a backup quarterback, and then when he comes in, he gets hype and does well, and everyone loves him, and he's so ready for next season.
It's honestly very comparable to like the Jalen Hurts to a.
I actually was talking to Mike earlier and said
Yeah,
the exact
he did-
same thing.
he did bring that
It's the
up.
exact. I totally agree. It's very much like that, but I think they stick with Quinn.
Yeah.
Arch is right there. He's just as good, in my opinion.
Yeah.
He's more talented. He's a sophomore versus senior, and I really think he's going to do very well. But I do want to stick to my same point I made week one, which was I don't think Texas wins a natty with Quinn Ewers.
I agree.
So, if Quinn never plays bad and then they make it to the playoffs and then something happens, maybe they put Arch in the playoffs. I don't know if Arch is going to be ready by then if he's been sitting for so long. That's just my take. I think if they play Arch the entire season, they have a better chance of winning a national championship. But for the program, there's no reason to bench him or bench Quinn right now. But, I mean, it's a really good problem to have.
Yeah.
I think every school in the country would trade their quarterback room for Quinn Ewers and Arch Manning right now. For those two.
Yeah.
Every single school. Mm-hmm. Maybe, with the exception of a Georgia or, a Miami. But I even honestly think this.
Or Bama.
Bama would snap that off.
Honestly, I think Miami would snap that off, too.
Probably. Honestly, probably every school. Yeah. Maybe except for Colorado. Dion loves his son.
No, I mean, Shador's a different level. But
yeah, he's definitely different. But no, Mike, I mean, congratulations.
Thank you.
Number one, the AP poll is a big thing.
I mean, Georgia is honestly, that's another conversation, too.
Well, I was going to say, I guess quickly before we close on Texas, what do you think about Georgia? Because they did drop. They barely beat Kentucky. The stat I saw was that Georgia's away wins where they were held to under 20 points have only happened 3 times in the last 5 years, all 3 to Kentucky.
Which is crazy.
2020, 2022, and 2024, Georgia scored 16, 14, and 13 this year, and they won every single game. It's the first time a team's won 3 games on the road in the SEC, scoring less than 20 points against the same opponent.
That's an interesting stat.
It's really
weird.
Weird.
A crazy stat. I wish I knew that before I made my mortal.
So did I. I saw it afterwards and was like,
sorry.
I probably shouldn't have hammered minus 24 and a half.
Yeah,
I didn't see it. I don't see anything wrong with Georgia, though, just to jump in. They do this every year. Yeah. If they think they're going to win a game, they have lackadaisical games. Trevor Etienne, once again, is not really he's not playing. So,
it's a whole other situation.
Their offense isn't as stacked, I think, as it has been in the past. I still think their defense is absolutely disgusting.
Amazing.
Yeah, they're just NFL guys. So I'm not worried about Georgia. I think everything we'll need to know about Texas and Georgia will be decided when Texas plays Georgia in 4 weeks.
I think it's all dependent on if Georgia's linemen, because they had 3 different linemen that were hurt or get injured. And if they're back by the time they're playing Texas, I think, it could be a really, really good matchup. I mean, it's going to be a really, really good matchup regardless, but I think that might be a deciding factor, and I think that's why it was held so close with Kentucky.
I honestly just think Texas has a better offense.
Well, okay, quickly, before I want to keep moving, but what's the spread in the Texas-Georgia game when it happens? It's in Texas, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. What's the spread the books make? No. The spread at kickoff of the Texas-Georgia game. 1 and 2.
I would say it's going to be Texas minus 1.5, 2. Maybe 3.
Georgia minus 2.5.
Wow.
At home, I'm going to go Texas minus 2.5.
Okay. Well, we'll see. That's the game. I mean, that's what everything's building up to here. The 1 and the 2 in the country, SEC showdown. I cannot wait for it. But for now, the number 1 team, the Texas Longhorns.
For now. Welcome, Horns, man!